today is building up to what's going to be an exciting 48 hours as we build up into counting all the debate around the Axis My India exit poll. Are our numbers right and wrong? And if they are right, why are they right? What really are these numbers telling us? Rahul and I are decoding for you the big exit poll.
There is so much chatter around the value that Prime Minister Narendra Modi brings to the BJP. Everybody has a broad sense that it's Modi who leads the BJP to power. But can that be quantified? Is there a way of knowing how many people voted the way they did because of the Prime Minister? And what would happen if the Prime Minister wasn't there? Hypothetically, of course, what might happen to the BJP vote share? So what we'll do is, we'll do a dive into the Axis My India exit poll numbers for the India Today group and try and quantify the numerical value in vote share that Prime Minister Modi brings to the BJP ticket. So some fascinating analysis coming up in the next 1 hour.
But first, of course, it's time for the headlines. The India Today Axis My India exit poll triggers a massive political debate with a cliffhanger predicted in Himachal Pradesh, a sweep for the BJP in Gujarat. Sources now say the Congress may move its MLAs from Himachal to Rajasthan or Chhattisgarh if a hung assembly appears on the horizon. The Maharashtra-Karnataka border dispute flares up. Again, protests rage in Belgavi. Sharad Pawar dares Chief Minister Bomai, says don't test Maharashtra's patience. CBI to grill TRS Neta and KCR's daughter Kavita on December 11th in connection with the Delhi liquor scam. This after Kavita requested that her questioning be delayed. Ex-AAP councillor in the dock over 2020 Delhi riots. Delhi court says Tahir Hussain was aiming to target Hindus during the riots. And a big boost for Make in India. Apple set to shift a chunk of its iPhone production out of China after protests at its Foxconn plant. And the World Bank revises India's GDP growth forecast to 6.9% for financial year 2022-23 from an earlier 6.5 projection, cites robust economic activity in the country.
Everybody has his or her own opinion on the value that Prime Minister Modi brings to the BJP ticket in state elections. But so far, you don't have a specific number to how many people say they voted for the BJP just because of the Prime Minister. Not the MLA, not the state government, but because of Narendra Modi. So I'm going to break that down state by state for you and also give you a hypothetical sense of what the BJP's vote share could be if you remove this section of voters. So I'll start with Gujarat, where the BJP is predicted by Axis My India to get a vote share of 46%. Out of the total 46% voters who said they voted for the BJP, 12% said they voted for the BJP because of Prime Minister Modi. So take that out, it comes down to 34%. Without Prime Minister Modi batting for the BJP, only 34% said they voted either for the party or the MLA or the minister or the state government or the chief minister. 12% said they voted for the BJP because of Prime Minister Modi, which means 1 in 5 of those who voted for the BJP said they did so in Gujarat because of Prime Minister Modi. And it's not just in Gujarat. Let's now cut across to Himachal Pradesh, where the BJP is predicted to get a vote share of 42%. Out of the 42% who said they voted for the BJP, 10% said they voted for the BJP because of Prime Minister Modi, which means take that 10% out, it will come down to 32. You would have a very, very different situation in Himachal, which at this moment looks tight, but would be very different if you didn't have 10% of the overall voters, which means, again, as was the case in Gujarat, 1 in 5 of the total voters who voted for the BJP, they say primarily because of Prime Minister Modi. Let's now go across to the MCD election in Delhi, which isn't really comparable directly to a state election, but still gives you a sense of how popular the Prime Minister is even in a municipal ticket. here, out of the 35% voters who said they voted for the BJP, 14% said they voted for the BJP because of Prime Minister Modi, which is essentially 34% of total BJP voters saying they voted for the BJP because of Prime Minister. Every third guy in Delhi who voted for the BJP did so not because of the Parshad, not because of the MLA, they hardly have any, not because of the MPs, they have 7, not because of anybody in the government or the party. They did so because of Prime Minister Modi. If you look at the two states, Pradeep, that means 1 in 5 of BJP voters are saying they voted the way they did only because of Prime Minister Modi. That's a big number, one man and the value he brings to the BJP ticket.
Yeah, earlier it used to be the most number party loyalist. Like we are voting for this party, pasand ki party hai, hum to isi ko vote karte hain, which was the case even today in Congress, ki jaise hum to Congress ko vote karte hain, hare ya jeete. Now this phenomena is shifting to a personality, and particularly in case of Modi, and which is the case if you see in MCD election, which is there for Arvind Kejriwal. So this personality who is actually responsible for the delivery, why people vote is they have certain amount of expectations from the leader, certain amount of aspirations, and different section of society has their own dreams and they call it wish list. Whoever government comes in, what netas are promising, they have to see whether they are delivering or not delivering, and on this very parameter, they decide whom they should be voting next time.
You know, I think, Rahul, this is fascinating because if you travel through Gujarat, you saw a number of people didn't even know the Chief Minister's name. They didn't even know that Bhupendra Patel was the Chief Minister. They have very little confidence in their elected MLAs. One reason why almost half the MLAs have been changed. They will complain on various issues, from local level corruption to quality of education, but ask them, who are you going to vote for? Nahi sir, humko Modi ji mein vishwas hai. So Modi ji has in a way become the BJP's ticket in almost every election, including at times municipal elections. And
no, but the BJP says, so what? If we have Sachin or Gavaskar or Kohli or Mbappe, whichever sport you pick, so what? He's playing for us, he's batting for us, he's our captain.
Nothing wrong, you could argue, in the short term, but in the medium term and long term, the BJP will have to look at it carefully, because what happened in the 1970s, Devkant Barua said, India is Indira and Indira is India. Eventually the Congress organization, once Indira Gandhi was not there, began to melt away because you had such weak chief ministers. In Maharashtra, for example, you imposed someone like Baba Saheb Bhosle, who was completely unknown. You had several such examples in the Congress in the late 70s and 80s, and the party paid a price. I'm not saying the BJP will pay a price in the same way because the Sangh Parivar offers them a cadre, but I'll give you the example of Himachal. In a close run race where you have a lot of angst over Agniveer, over tourism decline, over GST on apples, on old pension scheme, Mr. Modi has gone to Himachal and said, when you press that lotus vote, you're not voting for Jairam Thakur, you're voting for me. So the anger against the Chief Minister, anti-incumbency, is sought to be offset by the Prime Minister's personal popularity. Now that can work while the Prime Minister is there. Now the question at some stage will be asked after Modi who? I know that we are in 2022 and therefore perhaps it's the wrong time to ask it, but the BJP has to be conscious of the fact that are you weakening your state units with the likes of Bhupendra Patel as your Chief Minister, relatively unknown, and relying entirely on Mr. Modi's charisma at times in close state elections. It works in a national election, Rahul, but in a state election, are you weakening your chief ministers? Except Yogi Adityanath, I don't see any chief minister who's lifting the BJP today.
But Rahul Srivastava, look at it the other way. 8 years into power, you have a man who on his own steam can add 10 to 12% extra vote to what the BJP would have got otherwise. That's quite phenomenal.
I think it's happening after a very long time. Indira Gandhi could do it primarily because of the fact that she represented a lot many things. Legacy, Jawaharlal Nehru family, the war, the tough lady, tough decisions. She took on the mafia in the Congress, the cartels. That's what Modi has become for people. As Gupta ji said very rightly, delivery is a big thing. Rajdeep for the last 2 days has been talking about Himachal Pradesh and why women can be critical. I spent a lot of time today among women groups calling them up. You know what they are saying? What is the most critical factor for women in Himachal today? That in the toughest of the period of COVID and others, the free food grain which came to them is the key element. 650 to 700 rupees saved every month. That is one of the driving factors in Himachal. If that works for the BJP, it can actually do
And
wonders.
particularly
But
during the
let me
COVID,
COVID.
when the tourism is the major, income
there is no
for many of the people, and also adding to this the Kisan Samman Nidhi, which farmers is again there is no industry.
And,
So
and,
that
and,
is
it's not
the-
just, and Rahul, you may want to take it forward. It's not just delivery. It's delivery plus aspiration.
Yeah.
Modi today represents respect. There are two demographics where consistently the BJP has scored higher than its opponents, which is women and youth. One because of delivery of welfare benefits, i.e. women, and the other because I believe Mr. Modi is seen to represent
But
aspiration.
in this state assembly election, the BJP's popularity in Gujarat, for example, is higher amongst older people than it is amongst the youth. Which means the youth, and that's a problem in a longer term framework for the BJP in Gujarat, the youth, and also because they haven't seen any other party, that's the only party they've seen, aren't as happy as the older people who would have had a comparative with the Congress. The youth have only seen BJP, they see what's wrong, and therefore they have that innate desire for change, for some badlav. Their popularity is lesser amongst youth than it is amongst the older people.
Rahul, one point which I wanted to make here, which is very interesting. I spoke to a lot of people in Gujarat when we were discussing that how Modi brings a lot of votes. I don't know whether Mr. Gupta has gone into the fact that the voting percentage has gone down. Last time 5.5 lakh votes were there, which were Nota. A lot of people didn't vote because they didn't want to vote for somebody else and they didn't want to vote for the BJP. People are saying, look at also the fact that how many people don't go out and vote for somebody else and they don't vote at all because of Modi.
No, mainly because of wedding season, and particularly post-COVID, this wedding were pending for a long time, that open and wedding, and in Gujarat and particularly Gujaratis, Rahul, we met people, people in Jasdan, we met people, they were from Surat, we asked them, you haven't voted? No, said Saab.
No, but that can be one factor, Pradeep. It can't reflect why 5% turnout has dropped. So it's one factor for sure, in a whole host of other factors, including urban apathy, including the fact that voters aren't as enthused voting for a state election as they would be if Prime Minister Modi was himself in the ticket. That is a factor as well. But yes, we saw quite a few families, strangely, who said there's a wedding in the house, which is why we couldn't vote.
But you want to show us those Himachal numbers that you have, the gender, numbers.
Yeah.
Because I think since we are saying that Himachal could play such a critical review, I think Himachal's gender breakup is critical. Where do men vote in Himachal and where do women vote in Himachal? And if you look at the Axis My India poll, in my view, that is going to become the key factor come the 8th of December.
So let me put this in context. What we've done is, now remember, when you saw the Bihar election results, the reason the JDU and the BJP won was because extra women voted for the BJP. Even in Uttar Pradesh, more than men, it's women who voted because of free kerosene, food grains coming to their households. At this moment, the BJP is more popular amongst women than it is amongst men. So here it is on your screen right now, the breakup of the women vote as a crosstab. So what you see is 48% in Gujarat, 44% in Himachal, and 34% in Delhi. Women said they voted for the BJP. The overall vote share of the BJP in Gujarat is 46. In Himachal, the overall vote share is 42. Yeah. So 2% extra vote is coming from women, which means it's obviously more than 2, which is why it's adding an aggregate of 2. But you're getting at least 2% extra vote because you've got a catchment amongst women voters.
I just want to add one more to this, and particularly Uttarakhand, because the similarity in Himachal and Uttarakhand is there. In Uttarakhand, as many 11% more women voted in favor of BJP than men.
You know, the one state where this was bucked the trend was Bengal, which has a woman chief minister. Mamata Banerjee was almost double-digit ahead of the BJP when it came to women voters. So women are an important constituency and could well decide, in my view, what happens in Himachal. Because as per Pradeep's poll, the Congress is 5% ahead among men. So if the women voters are going to have to, if the BJP has to take on the Congress in Himachal, they're going to have to see that women voters, A, have come in large numbers, and B, disproportionately have voted for them. So I think this graphic will decide. If Pradeep has got these numbers right, the Congress edges the BJP.
And also,
if
Rajiv,
on the other hand, the gap among women increases from 44, 43, which is at the moment, the BJP has a chance. Himachal will be decided by which way the women have voted. Women are affected by rising prices. But women perhaps don't feel as strongly about the old pension
scheme. They are
scheme.
the beneficiaries of the Labharthi scheme.
That's right.
They are the actual beneficiaries. Also, Rajiv, important is the data is 14% lesser vote for the BJP in urban Himachal, which is very small. That's a very small segment. Equal number voting in rural means women voter importance is there.
Yes.
So
that vote cannot be ignored.
Let's go to one of the women politicians. Sanju Verma, the BJP's evergreen spokesperson, is joining us. Ashwini Sharma, who is
Evergreen or ever saffron?
Ever saffron, evergreen, ever saffron, also joining us at this moment.
Oh, she's in green. Did you know she's in green?
No, I had no idea what she was wearing. Ashwini Sharma is still with us. Also joining us at this moment is Arshpreet Singh Khadial. He's Congress spokesperson. And Rahul Srivastava is still with us. Ashwini, to you first. You want to tell us what you think is going to happen in Himachal? Is the woman voter a critical factor? Is the Modi factor? The Prime Minister came and delivered a series of speeches in the last 72 hours there. Does he make the critical difference, or do you believe anti-incumbency was so strong against the state government that the Congress may well pull it off?
Rajdeep, both things. I think Modi connected very well with the women voters. And today I was sitting with the Chief Minister and we were analyzing some of the trends which he expected. And there are 4.5% higher voting among the female voters than the men voters, right? And then I will tell you how Modi connects with the people of Himachal Pradesh, especially the women's. Modi has worked in Himachal Pradesh for a long time, and he has been going to the areas, he has been connecting to the people. And when he comes to Himachal, he says, it's my second home. I come to Himachal as seeing my home here, right? Then he tries to, this time he made it a very important point that earlier, being a special category state, Himachal Pradesh has to go to the center and beg to the center. Now, your son is serving as Prime Minister and I have a responsibility to fulfill your requirements. You know, the bulk drug park in Himachal Pradesh was sanctioned within 15 days time. There was a process going on, but when the bulk drug park decision was taken, it was sanctioned within a 15 days and Prime Minister came and laid the foundation stone also. Number two, Prime Minister whenever comes to Himachal Pradesh, he either wears the Himachal attires or he tells the people that whenever he goes abroad, he wears Himachali cap. Modi ji in Israel wearing Himachali cap. He goes to Uttarakhand and wears the attire of Himachal Pradesh. And when he starts with a speech, as he has been doing in other states also, he speaks Himachali. He speaks Mandyali. He speaks Bilaspuri. Last time he was in Bilaspur, he was telling that he Prem Kumar Dhumal and JP Nadda used to stroll in the Bilaspur streets and go to the shops. In Solan, he tells there is a Shole Wala. He named that person. So he has an art of connecting to the people, you know, and he tells that he is taking all the articrafts, traditional handicrafts of Himachal and gifting it to the dignitaries outside. So that is his way of connecting to people, number one. Number two, you have spoken about the anti-incumbency. I just remind of your own statement that the history is with the Congress this time. You know, the change happening after 5 years. So there is an anti-incumbency in Himachal Pradesh and there is a close fight. It's a very well fought election.
You're saying there's an anti-incumbency and there is a pro-Modi factor. So we have to see which actually outweighs the other. There's anti-incumbency and pro. You know, while you were saying all these things about Mr. Modi, the nice thing, Sanju Verma was smiling. Very, you know, Sanju Verma, there is the Modi factor. Is the BJP eventually dependent on the Modi factor? You go to Himachal, anti-incumbency. You go to rural Gujarat, anger. against your state government and your MLAs in particular? Are all your eggs in the Modi basket?
You know, I have been listening to you, Rajdeep, and to Rahul Kanwal over the last 24 hours plus. And I have to grant you one thing, Rajdeep. BJP jitne bhi election jeete, you always qualify our victories. You know, Modi factor ke karan jeet rahe hain. You know, see, Arvind Kejriwal's party did not even have proper 182 candidates to field in the Gujarat Assembly elections, is what you said a couple of minutes back. I was listening into you. Yes. Then you said the Modi factor is bigger than the BJP factor in elections. Yes. I take all of that. I will just tell you one thing. Are we proud to have a winning mascot? Yes. As they say, don't change something which is not broken. So I don't see any reason why people are urged by Narendra Modi campaigning in Gujarat or Himachal Pradesh, but this is the same lot which keeps resurrecting, rejuvenating and relaunching Rahul Gandhi after every loss. Rahul Baba has yet to come of age, but Modi ji should hang up his boots. I don't get that logic. I'll quickly just say one thing to you. You know, let me take your logic. Hypothetically speaking, Gujarat mein kuch vikas nahi hua 27 saalon mein. You know, one of the panelists who's there on your show was there with me on Rahul Kanwal's show last week. And he said, Gujarat mein to logon ko khana bhi nahi mil raha khane ke liye. Excuse me, Gujarat mein vikas nahi hua. गुजरात में गवर्नेंस डेफिसिट है, गुजरात में ट्रस्ट डेफिसिट है, गुजरात में भूपेंद्र भाई पटेल को कोई जानता नहीं है, लोगों को खाना नहीं मिल रहा, इन्फ्लेशन इज एट इट्स पीक. After all these so-called negative factors, if the Congress and Aam Aadmi Party could still not give the BJP a run for its money, there is something seriously wrong with the opposition.
Okay,
that is the question that needs to be asked.
I have a question for her.
Yeah, please go ahead.
No, since you watched us for so long, let me ask you, how did you like our coverage in comparison to the others? Aap batao, jawab do.
Coverage was very good. That is why I've been watching India Today and dividing my time, 60%, 70% of the time India Today and baki 30% amongst other channels.
Arre baapre, this is the highest.
That's the India Today vote share.
Chalo,
like the BJP vote share, 69% in Himachal.
BJP vote share is 46, 48%.
In Himachal in 2019 they got 69%.
Okay.
So if Sanju Verma's time was to be compared to vote share percentages, it's the India Today vote share on election day.
I only hope she doesn't say the same thing for other channels.
Nahi bol sakti. Do you go on some other channel and say the same thing? Sanju, what is Pradeep alleging?
I'm sorry.
I just doubt, otherwise this certificate is fantastic to get.
Flattery is not a strong point.
Backhandedly calling Rajdeep the Modi of the channel?
No, that's okay. I am glad that Sanju...
Let me finish in 30 seconds.
No,
Let me finish in 30 seconds.
Please, 30 seconds only.
Rajdeep and Rahul, the key thing that nobody seems to be factoring in, I would like to again bring in the word which became famous after the Uttar Pradesh results were out. We were the first party to come back consecutively twice in a row after 1985, first party to win consecutively twice in a row in Uttarakhand in 27 long years. And, we are going to be beating the so-called anti-incumbency factor of 27 years in Gujarat and very confident of forming government in Himachal Pradesh. I'll tell you what, the Labharti model. You know, Rajdeep and Rahul, you've spoken about problems faced by apple growers. You've spoken about the OPS scheme, which was replaced by BJP's NPS scheme in Himachal. You said people are missed with that. Have you ever wondered that more than 9 lakh people in Himachal today are benefiting from PM Kisan? More than 5.4 lakh people are benefiting from the Himcare scheme. More than 6 lakh people have benefited from Ayushman Bharat. More than 4.7 lakh women have benefited from free LPG cylinders. The Coal Dam and Renuka-ji Dam projects, which were in abeyance for almost 15 or 20 odd years, have come up. Have you ever accounted for the fact that, Himachal is basically a rural semi-urban area? As you people are saying, Shimla, Dharamshala or Bilaspur ko chhod do. So Himachal is basically a hilly terrain. Despite that, imagine Kashi Ganga at a height of 15,256 feet above sea level.
This is a show on data. The campaign is over. We're just dissecting the results of the exit poll.
The interesting thing is Sanju Verma is not wrong with some of her facts. However, the interesting thing of Himachal, 2017 BJP wins. 2019 BJP gets 69% of the vote, but 2021 by-election they lose all 4 and come down by 25%. So nothing is constant. Let's get Arshpreet Singh Khadial, the one state which the Congress will put all its eggs into on Thursday is Himachal. You seem to have been decimated in a way in Gujarat, and we'll come to Jasmine Shah of the AAP on that. But Arshpreet, what is it that you think? Do you agree that the Modi factor and that woman factor that we've focused on is going to be key? The Labharti, the welfare schemes for women are going to make the difference, and that could mean that even Himachal could go away from the Congress.
See, number one, I'll give you some examples, some facts vis-a-vis exit polls where they have gone horribly wrong. First, the Lok Sabha election of 2004, the exit polls were proven out to be massively wrong. Number two, the West Bengal's election in 2021, UP election in 2017 and Bihar election in 2020. And I can keep on going on this, but the fact of the matter is that exit polls haven't taken into account the biggest of all factors, that is anti-incumbency. If there was no anti-incumbency, Rajdeep, then, in the very first year of Gujarat's term, the previous term, Vijay Rupani and the entire cabinet would have not been dismissed. Number two, if, the Bharatiya Janta Party was confident, they wouldn't have had to flout the norms of code of conduct. Our MLA in Gujarat would not have been lifted, and Mr. Modi would have not had to campaign so much so, that he even went ahead and said that the Congress party has a massive undercurrent. It is, working at the ground level. It's connecting with the people. Be aware, he said to his own workers. Now, these exit polls are suggesting that the Prime Minister was wrong, are suggesting that he was incorrect. Now, how is that possible? Okay. Can Mr. Modi ever be wrong? He's the Prime Minister. I mean, what he says always happens, is what the media has always shown. How are these exit polls contradicting Mr. Modi?
Let's look at this. 1 minute now. 1 minute, Sanju. Let's look at this Modi factor. Jasmine Shah, Arvind Kejriwal also, in a sense, appears to want to replicate the Modi model. Please vote for not the Aam Aadmi Party, for Arvind Kejriwal. Please vote for the Delhi model, which in a sense is identified with the personality. We are in the age of personality cult politics. Aam Aadmi Party claimed to be a party with a difference, but your critics say you have become just like any other party. The personality of Mr. Kejriwal is the reason why you want people to vote for you.
Absolutely not, Rajdeep. When you correctly said that when we go to other states, we talk about the fact that we will implement the Delhi model. And today, ask every family, every household in any corner of India, what has Arvind Kejriwal done in Delhi? But will the answer come? Schools ठीक किए हैं, अस्पताल और मोहल्ला क्लिनिक बनाए, free बिजली दिए, free पानी दिया है, महिलाओं को free बस यात्रा दी है. If you ask any other household, let alone any household in the corner of India, दिल्ली में किसी को बोलो कि गुजरात मॉडल का मतलब क्या है, लोग इधर उधर देखेंगे. आप अपने जर्नलिस्ट को पूछो गुजरात मॉडल का मतलब क्या है. So yes, when it comes to Mr. Modi, it is personality cult. When it comes to Arvind Kejriwal, it is the leadership model or the Delhi model that he has built, which is centered around core issues that affect the day-to-day life of the Aam Aadmi. And that is the reason, even if we go by the Access My India poll, which gives around 20% to Aam Aadmi Party, I think this is a historic debut. This is, I think the national politics is going to change forever. Getting 20% in its debut election in the backyard of BJP, where Mr. Amit Shah and Mr. Narendra Modi were campaigning relentlessly, shows that Arvind Kejriwal is the future of Indian politics. I'll also talk a little bit about MCD election, Rajdeep, because here was an opportunity for the BJP to actually show what is the Gujarat model or the Modi model of development. Instead, what did they do? The entire of last 6 months, the entire BJP of Delhi, 7 chief ministers, 20 union ministers and 30 TV channels were relentlessly talking only about corruption, corruption, corruption. Manish Sosodia ne corruption kiya, Satinder Jain ne corruption kiya, sharab ghotala hua, school ghotala hua. The people of Delhi have responded. If the predictions in the exit poll hold true, which we are very sure, in fact, it will be exceeding the results, then the reality is that people have
sure when the results favor them. If the results don't favor them, they are never sure.
You're claiming in a way, Jasmine, that Arvind Kejriwal will emerge as the challenger to Mr. Modi.
No, can I show the data around that?
Yeah, please, yes.
So if you ask voters in Delhi who voted for the Aam Aadmi Party, why they voted for AAP, 8% of the overall voters who cast their vote said they voted for AAP because of Kejriwal. Amongst AAP voters, 17% said they voted the way they did because of Kejriwal. But as an overall percentage of all the people who went out and voted, 8% said they vote. So he's much smaller, even in Delhi, even in an MCD election, a much smaller factor than Prime Minister Modi, but brings 8. Now that's where Rahul Gandhi takes a beating. You run the same thing, Pradeep Gupta, asking people how many people voted for Congress because of Rahul Gandhi. That figure could potentially be 0, 1 or 2, but it won't be anywhere close to 8 or 14.
Nay, Rahul, that is most important point you have to see. Rahul Gandhi has never held a position, the government position. I am telling again and again, people only vote basis on delivery. So where Rahul Gandhi is responsible any kind of delivery whatsoever. So there is no comparison when you are comparing Chief Minister to any leader who never had this kind of position.
No, but here Rahul is the problem. Kejriwal still, for what it's worth, brings 8% extra vote to the AAP ticket. Whereas the Congress doesn't have a batsman at this moment who can score runs himself.
Yes. Rahul, that's a
vote
major...
hai, wo party ka vote hai.
You see, if you increasingly see Himachal as well as... See, when we were talking Himachal before the elections, we were talking about some 17 contenders for chief ministers.
In the Congress?
In the Congress means there is a party in which there are strong leaders, Rahul. But you don't have a leader. Similarly, in Gujarat, you find so many congressmen who have been entrenched, good leaders, working for it, and they are winning elections on their own. Congress lacks a leader. But one point which was being made, that what is this Gujarat model? Rajdeep, you know, people don't realize there is a Gujarat model. When 2013-14, if you recall, when Modi was campaigning, he used to talk about how migrants from UP and Bihar, when they travel, mothers feel safe once they cross into Gujarat. It's a fact. Lakhs of workers. There is an industry and employment opportunity in Gujarat. People migrate. Do people know that in Surat, 70% of loom workers come from Odisha? Now 7 lakh people from Odisha are there working in the looms in Surat. That is the Gujarat model.
And many are women.
They take these stories home.
No, sure.
So Modi has a national narrative about a Gujarat model which he took in 2014.
No, I agree with you with one qualification, that even if you went in the 1990s, you would find Odia workers working in Surat. The fact is, the Modi model has built on a Gujarat growth engine that actually started in 1990s. The problem with the Congress is the Congress has never been able to encash it. Mr. Modi has encashed what was the growth model of Gujarat and taken it further. So when there is a gift city, for example, when you have highway projects, when the Narmada waters, which ironically the scheme was conceived upon much earlier. The road network was first conceived during Madhav Singh Solanki's time. Hazira was conceived during Madhav Singh.
The Congress has to allow a chief minister to go from Gujarat to Delhi. Instead of letting the high command run from Delhi to Gujarat.
You see, where the BJP scored is that the BJP in a particular period of time gave their chief ministers, empowered them and allowed them to build their brands. Let's give them credit. No. Whether it's a Shivraj Singh Chauhan in Madhya Pradesh or a Narendra Modi in Gujarat, they were given the opportunity, empowered to build a certain brand around them. So infrastructure, as it was built in Gujarat, Mr. Modi was there at the right place at the right time. India was growing at 8-10%. Gujarat is one of India's most business-friendly states. Mr. Modi's great achievement, I believe, is that he brought uninterrupted power supply, which benefited the state. Water has now started reaching different parts. Where I think he's still weak is education and health, which Kejriwal has cleverly exploited in this election by bringing a new narrative that what is happening to those outside 100 kilometers outside Ahmedabad or Vadodara. These are realities. Gujarat is not all vibrant. There are darker regions which the anti-incumbency vote reflects, and there is a brighter Gujarat model which focuses on infrastructure where Mr. Modi benefits. So I think we have to acknowledge there's a Gujarat model, there's a Delhi model, but to take your point, Rahul, there is no Congress model at the moment.
No, hai na Rajasthan mein, where Sachin and Gehlot are fighting.
No, I'll tell you what. In Rajasthan, there is an excellent scheme for medical insurance.
Sure.
Sorry?
Bhamasha, I think.
No, that existed even
at the Chiranjeevi scheme that has been brought in, the medical insurance up to 10 lakhs that you are providing, Mr. Ashok Gehlot should have been allowed to go out there and say, look, I am going to provide social sector reform and make me the poster boy. But you don't want to do that. Unless you start projecting a model that is an effective model to the people, the Gujarat model and the Delhi model will start competing with each other. Where is that Congress model? The Congress attacks others for unemployment. One of the highest rates of unemployment at the moment is in Rajasthan.
Okay.
No, it is there in Chhattisgarh, let me tell you. The one model is there.
No, but you have to sell it, no? You have to brand it, you have to market
different.
it.
No, but Modi marketed it himself. It's not like the party marketed it for him.
Model
But the party allowed him to do it.
No, but he had the hunger and the audacity and the ambition to do it. Who's stopping Gehlot from...
No, the fact is Atal Bihari Vajpayee allowed particularly his chief ministers, if you see, to be projected strongly and allowed them to be seen as the BJP's faces for the future. And I'll give credit to Lal Krishna Advani. Even before that, look at the number of leaders who were in that BJP period were given that space.
But Prime Minister Modi picked Yogi Adityanath.
You see, that's the one exception.
If the Prime Minister didn't want for Yogi Adityanath to be Chief Minister, he would have never been Chief Minister.
Rahul, see what's happened in Uttarakhand. The BJP had to change 3 chief ministers. In Himachal Pradesh, Jairam Thakur's ratings are well below that of the BJP. Look at Bhupendra Patel. Whether you changed your entire cabinet and you had to change your chief minister because you realized there's anti-incumbency and you appointed a relative non-entity. The BJP needs to recognize strong chief ministers like Mr. Modi are the future of politics of this country. And when you give them and build a brand around them, you will create the next generation of leaders. The Congress failed to do that and is paying a heavy price for it. And I think the BJP therefore scores over them at state level if they give strong leaders like Yogi Adityanath.
See, and one opportunity Kejriwal now has with MCD, if it is under his belt, his Delhi model will get improved because his delivery will get improved because the municipal corporation will be with him.
But will it? Because a lot of MCD employees are now central government
Still, Rahul, because I think now the body will, there will be greater cohesion. Remember, municipal corporation owns a lot of land.
Sure.
Will give a lot of revenue space to Kejriwal.
Okay, we'll spend a moment looking at the VIP candidates of Himachal Pradesh. So, I'm going to walk across and give you a seat-by-seat breakup. And remember, this is one of the remarkable things about this Access My India opinion exit poll for the India Today group. You can look at a seat-by-seat breakup. So, I'll start with Chief Minister Jairam Thakur's seat. Access My India predicts for India Today that Jairam Thakur, in his seat of Siraj, is comfortably poised and the incumbent Chief Minister is likely to win again. Remember, in Uttarakhand, Pushkar Dhami lost his seat. That complicated matters. He was picked again by the central leadership, but he lost his own seat. Jairam Thakur had some anti-incumbency against him, but net-net seems likely to win his seat. Let's come to Anil Sharma, the son of Sukhram, now fighting on a BJP ticket in the seat of Mandi. Access My India predicts that Anil Sharma is likely to win his seat. From there, let's come to, again, Mandi itself, where he's up against Champa Thakur, daughter of the former Himachal Chief Minister Kaul Singh Thakur. Champa Thakur on a Congress ticket projected to lose. From there, let's come to the Brahman face of the Congress in Himachal Pradesh, Mukesh Agnihotri, fighting from Haroli, leader of the opposition. He is predicted to win. If the Congress were to be in a position to form the government, Mukesh Agnihotri would fancy his chances to be the next Chief Minister. So would some of the other leaders. I'll take you through their names in a moment, but there's Vikramaditya Singh from Shimla rural, son of the formidable Veerbhadra Singh. Between the last campaign when we met him and now, he's improved his game as a campaigner, as a narrator, contesting this time from Shimla rural, carrying forward the legacy of his father. He is likely to win. Let's now come to Bhuvaneshwar Gaur from Manali, State General Secretary. He is in a tough fight on that seat of Manali between the Congress and the BJP. The other man who would be fancying his chances, dialing the phones, waiting in the wings for the 8th of December is Sukhwinder Singh Sukhu, the former student leader of the Congress, who's the chairman of the Congress's campaign committee, the Thakur face of the Congress in Himachal Pradesh, who is projected to win on his seat in Nadaim. So that, Pradeep, let me ask you the same question that I asked earlier. If you were to look back at the raw data coming from Himachal Pradesh, you had an opportunity to do so. Do you think that things are likely to veer on the higher end of your margin towards 40 for the Congress, or the lower end, which is a complete khichdi where anyone can win?
Let me tell you, in case of Himachal Pradesh, the most critical element, though we talked a lot about women and all that, but here, the rebel of BJP. BJP won last time 44 seats, and there are 22 rebels on 22 seats. This is a big number. So that is what holding back to the BJP despite of all this.
So even in those 68 seats, let's go seat by seat and tell you which are the seats where independent candidates outside of now remember, these are names you may not know right now, but if it's a hodgepodge kind of verdict on the 8th, each of those independents would be priceless. So Hoshiar Singh Dehra.
Hoshiar Singh Dehra, he won independent last time. He joined BJP, but BJP hasn't given ticket to him. Now he is again contesting independent and he is likely to win. Okay. The second seat is the Arki, where fight is between Congress and their rebel, Rajendra Thakur. Fight is between Congress and Congress rebel.
That's a tough fight.
That's the tough fight. Now coming to the
Sarkaghat, where there's an independent candidate, Munish Sharma, fighting the BJP and the Congress again in a tough fight. So that's the third seat where an independent Munish Sharma, Hoshiar Singh, they'll be counting their crores right now.
Also important, Ashish Sharma is, I'm pretty sure, more than 90% that he's likely to win from Hamirpur.
You know, I'll give very...
No, there's one more, Rajdeep, just one more. There's one more independent candidate in Nalagarh. KL Thakur, he's likely to win. So I just
he's BJP rebel.
So
about 4 to 6.
4 to 6.
4 to 6 BJP rebels are there.
No, the ones who are winning.
Yeah, who can win?
These people in a small assembly would be priceless.
And where they are spoiling the prospect of BJP, though they are not winning, I'll tell you, the Jaswant Pragpur seat, Joginder Nagar, Arki, Pachad and Thiog.
So another 4 to 5.
Yes.
So 4 to 5 BJP rebels could win and 4 to 5 they could spoil chances. But you know, interestingly, and maybe Ashwini can correct me on this, unlike, you know, most small states in this country have gone through chronic instability because it's easy to affect defections. Himachal has been an exception. If you look over the last 25 years, you've had 3 tenures of Veerbhadra Singh, 2 tenures of Dhumal, now you've had 1 full tenure of Jairam Thakur. So for 30 years, there's been relative stability. The only time there wasn't was when Sukhram, in between, formed his own party and then negotiated to form a government at that time with the BJP, and the BJP because he had cases against him, he found a way of forming a government. So by and large, Himachal has remained one of the rare, small, stable two-party states. Unlike my home state of Goa, where MLAs are available for the highest bidder, Ashwini Sharma can correct me, but by and large, Ashwini, barring that Sukhram move, Himachal has been a state, whoever gets the majority usually gets over 40 seats, right? So we can expect one side to get over 40, possibly.
Rajdeep, there was a time, 1998, when there was a tie between the BJP and the Congress, 31 seat, 31 seat. Then ultimately that you are referring to Sukhram's party, which was Himachal Vikas Congress. So they had 5 MLAs and 3 MLAs, in order to avoid that they should be hijacked by the Congress, there was a split within the party and 3 MLAs were sent to the BJP. And ultimately Prem Kumar Dhumal formed the government. That was the only instance. And then there was an instance when Thakur Ramlal became a chief minister much earlier. That time there was also a defection in the party. But right now I was listening to that issue of independence. You know, the rebels are a big issue, which even the top BJP leaders admit that it's a cause of concern for the party. And I have names of at least 9 assembly constituencies where the rebels are either going to win the elections or going to damage the BJP. So that is a very clear picture.
No, but give us a flavor of what's happening in the Congress camp. I was speaking to a senior leader who's in charge of, you know, bringing this campaign together, and they said we're already talking to the prospective MLAs, trying to ensure they don't jump over. So that concern, that if it is a tight fight, and remember, as I said at the top of the show, bragging rights come down to what happens in Himachal. Is there a fear, as was the case in Goa and elsewhere, Madhya Pradesh, for example, that some of these Congress MLAs could jump? So the Congress could net be slightly ahead but not end up in government.
Yeah, you know, Vikramdutt Singh, who is a son of Veerbhadra Singh, he made a statement yesterday. He said, yes, we are preparing that our MLAs, elected MLAs, should be safe and we can send them to other places. And then there is a preparedness for that also. Congress is confident.
In fact, Bhupinder Singh Hooda has been told that this is your assignment. Bhupesh Baghel is also there. And interestingly, the General Secretary in charge, or the Secretary, is the journalist turned politician Rajiv Shukla. Now, you know, Rajiv Shukla, of course, is exuding a lot of confidence, but I think you need someone like Hooda Saab or Baghel, more experienced, more seasoned to handle.
And more money as well.
And more money possibly as well. Look, the BJP has got a reputation, Sanju Verma may not like this, but has got a reputation in recent times, after what happened in Madhya Pradesh, after what happened in Goa, after what happened in Manipur, after what happened in Arunachal Pradesh, in Uttarakhand, in Karnataka, that this is a party that when it is a slightly hung assembly situation or a fluctuating situation, they can break the other side. Now, Sanju Verma, this is not a nice reputation to have, but it is a reputation you have. That you can break the party to form a government. कुछ भी करोगे सरकार के लिए.
Rajdeep, may I please? आपने बोला, मैंने बड़े ध्यान से सुना है. If you have the BJP representative, please allow me a rebuttal. I noticed very carefully when talking of how governments are being broken and horse trading, etc., is underway. You named Karnataka, you named Uttarakhand, you named Madhya Pradesh, you named Goa. But I'm surprised. Why did you not name Maharashtra, where despite a huge ideological divide, Uddhav Thackeray, the NCP and the Congress came together, though anybody with a basic idea of Indian political landscape. Let me finish, then you can rebut me. Anybody with basic common sense, anybody with a wee bit idea of India's political landscape knows that the mandate was for Narendra Modi and Devendra Fadnavis. The mandate was not for Uddhav Thackeray, the mandate was not for Sharad Pawar, the mandate was certainly not for the likes of Aditya Thackeray, who without experience was given a couple of portfolios. तब तो मैंने कभी राजदीप जी आपको ये नहीं कहते हुए सुना that Devendra Fadnavis has been backstabbed by the very ally who got votes, seats in Lok Sabha and Maharashtra.
Question has been asked to Shiv Sena. No. Sanju Verma, the fact is that there are several states, small states in particular, where the BJP in the past has been able to achieve post-poll coalition. I'm not saying. No, you must accept that. You have the power. You have the.
I'm sorry, this does not work, Rajdeep. This does not work. Let me finish. You have a habit of heckling me. I will take 30 seconds.
I'm not heckling you, ma'am.
Okay.
You've been so nice to us today. You have said that 70% of the time you watch us. I'm so happy to hear that.
Rajdeep, may I please? Thank you so much. May I please? With folded hands, may I please respond? Thank you. You are a very consummate journalist, and despite our differences, I love coming on your shows. Having said that, I need to say something, Rajdeep. You know, I have been listening to you since yesterday, and you have said Gujarat to jeetna hi tha. Isme kaun si badi baat hai if they again win despite a 27-year-old, so-called anti-incumbency. I want to ask you one thing. I was even there on your show after the BJP won 77 seats in West Bengal last year but did not get those 200 seats which Amit Shah had promised. I remember I was on your channel, on a whole host of other channels. Nobody gave BJP credit for the fact that we had increased our vote share from 10% to 38% and from 3 seats to 77 seats. Hold on. तब हमको क्या कहा गया? So what? जो जीता वही सिकंदर. Finally it is TMC which has won. Today, the same logic.
Okay, we're running out of time also.
Ma'am, let the Congress. Ma'am, you made your point. Arshpreet, Sanju Verma.
Now, are you fearful, Arshpreet, that if there is a tight fight, if it's like 33 or thereabouts, that you could end up with a moral victory but not be able to form the government? In Himachal, is that a fear?
Not at all. See, we are not really relying upon the exit polls. We are relying upon the mandate of the people. And number two, the Bharatiya Janta Party needs to stop cherry picking, exit polls. They say Gujarat exit polls are right. MCD polls are wrong. Aam Aadmi Party is doing again what it does always, following the footsteps of the Bharatiya Janta Party. They also started saying MCD polls, exit polls are right. Gujarat exit polls, Himachal exit polls are wrong. However, there's a
Okay.
bit of a coincidence
not
that
winning
we're watching to
anything.
see.
You're not
Lok-
winning
So we
Gujarat.
are,
You're
we
not
are
winning
running
anything.
out of time on this show. Here's what I want to say in conclusion. If the Congress is to win Himachal, it should really win big, Rajdeep. You know, they may not win as big as Chhattisgarh, but even if they win sufficiently big, then they are safe. If it's a tight fight with 1 or 2% vote share gap, seats roughly the same, then it's tough for Congress unless they get a majority themselves to actually cross the finishing line.
I think if they get to the upper end of Pradeep's poll,
Which
that's
is 40,
they're safe.
No, but what if they
And
don't
then-
get?
No, if they get anything less than that, and particularly if it's in that 30 to 35 range, then you'll have to send a dozen reporters across Himachal to know who's doing what. And the other problem for the Congress is similar to Goa in 2017, they haven't chosen a chief ministerial candidate.
But thank God they haven't,
So
otherwise Sukhu and Agnihotri and
next
Pratibha
battle
Singh
will
would
be
have...
that. No, while you are protecting your MLAs, you have to also be clear who's your chief minister. Is it Mukesh Agnihotri? Is it Sukhvinder Singh Sukhu? Who's your chief minister? So I think the Congress needs 40 plus to be
Why
safe.
did you leave Pratibha Singh out? In the
Pratibha
Congress
Singh could
style of
also be
doing
there.
things, they could pick Veerbhadra's wife.
They could also pick her. My point is, I think the Congress is going to have 48 hours of sleepless nights as far as Shimla is concerned. Why? Because if the Congress does, as you said, if the Congress doesn't win Himachal, loses ground to the Aam Aadmi Party in Gujarat, is swept out in MCD, the Congress will then be struggling in a way to have any kind of momentum that they were hoping with the Bharat Jodo Yatra and heading into Karnataka, a state that they hope to win. So I think Himachal is critical for the Congress. For the BJP, it's all about Gujarat in a way, and for the AAP, they'll hold on to MCD.
Rajdeep, one important point. Interestingly, we are saying that history is with the Congress right now. But interestingly, history is also against the BJP. In 1967, there were 16 rebels vis-a-vis the Janta. And the Janta only won 7, and the Congress came to power. So this is the second time the BJP has such a large amount of rebellion.
You know, I have more data which we could go on for, but we're out of time on this show. So we'll come back tomorrow. We'll look at the results of the MCD elections. Our coverage starts early in the morning at 7. We have 84 people out at the polling booths who will be counting data. There's a 100-people team at the back end working on processing the data. So on the India Today screen, you'll see live counting numbers, round by round, coming in from the MCD elections. So all day tomorrow, we'll have that coverage. Day after, we'll have the coverage of Gujarat and Himachal Pradesh. Massive technology, massive preparation, and the best analytics you will find anywhere else. And some fafda and jalebi as well.
That's right. Somebody sent me a message, what are you eating? I was feeling a little hungry. I had some gathia.
Why do you bring these unhealthy snacks?
This is gathia.
Yesterday you had fafda.
Gujaratis tell me gathia is full of protein. So I'm going by when in Gujarat, do as a Gujarati does. So fafda and gathia are the flavor of the season. On that note, Pradeep Gupta, sleep well.
I'm waiting for jalebi.
I'll give him jalebi if your numbers are right. We won't do a dance, but we'll do jalebi for sure. Rahul Srivastav, stay well. Sanju Verma, keep watching India Today. Take 70% time now to 80% and make sure that you keep watching us. To all our viewers also, thank you very much for watching.
Don't mute me when I'm talking at least.
Okay, I won't do that next time. Your election destination, India Today. Bye for now.